and welcome to our website. This website is now home to a completed project that Paul Hodkinson and I have just finished in partnership with the Institute of Health Visiting and the National Childbirth Trust, where we were funded by an ESRC Impact Acceleration account to generate impact and practical outcomes of research that we have been doing over the last few years on parents' mental health. And we've done that through a range of different projects on mothers' and fathers' mental health and in a range of different contexts. But in this Impact Award, we got to take these research findings and work with our fantastic partners, the IHV and the NCT. And in the rest of this video, we are going to summarize what we did, the kinds of outputs that came out of this project, and what we found.
So this collaboration with our partners, the Institute of Health Visiting and National Childbirth Trust, builds upon a range of different research projects that we've been involved in over the last few years relating to new mothers, new fathers and mental health. In particular, there are three projects that are sort of fed fairly sort of directly into the work that we've done here. The first was by Ranjana on migrant mothers and mental health, and that had a sort of interest in sort of digital media as well as part of the project. The second was a project that we conducted together on fathers and mental health, also kind of investigating the role that digital media played as part of their struggles and their attempts to cope. And the final project was a project that was specifically oriented towards the challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic brought for those people who were sort of having children during that time. In terms of the findings that sort of came through in what we've done in this project, broadly across all of the research that I've described, we found a lot about the significance of gendered pressures of one kind or another, and the ways in which they could sometimes exacerbate people's difficulties and struggles during the course of and after having a baby, and also the ways in which they could make it more difficult for people to seek support for their struggles.
So we partnered up with the Institute of Health Visiting and the National Childbirth Trust to carry the findings from these different research projects into practice. And what that meant was that we were focused particularly on working with professionals and practitioners, and also on occasion with parents themselves, to generate resources and services which could sort of enhance support both for new parents but also for people working with new parents. And so that runs across as a bit of a theme across the various outputs that we produced over the course of this project. And one of those outputs was what we came to call Facto Graphics. And Facto Graphics were resources, digital resources, mobile-friendly resources, sort of live resources that we developed in partnership with parents and professionals for parents and professionals, where we produce these infographic-like resources which could be clicked in different areas, which communicated research findings from our different projects through using different kinds of visuals, which embedded little films and videos on them with stories of new parents and their lived experiences, and which also embedded support links and links to various local and national support services. And these Facto Graphics are all available on this website. If you go to Outputs, you'll see them all hyperlinked, and they're free to access and use, and we are currently trying to see that they are used as widely as possible.
Another aspect of the work that we produced was a set of evidence reviews for the National Childbirth Trust, intended to feed into the production of sort of parent-facing content and information by them. And we produced evidence reviews on a number of different aspects of fathers' experience of the process of having a baby in relation to well-being and mental health issues, and also an evidence review on the particular experiences of migrant mothers in relation to mental health too. And then a further aspect of the work that we did that was sort of really important and occupied a good deal of our energies was to produce a whole series of different forms of sort of engagement and training for practitioners involved with supporting new parents. Part of that involved the National Childbirth Trust, where we did a webinar, a couple of sort of other training events, and produced a set of sort of information and materials, including a sort of infographic oriented towards practitioners that were focused upon the experiences of fathers and the ways in which fathers could be supported. And then in addition, we held a range of other events oriented to a variety of different kinds of professionals working for different sorts of organisations that were focused upon the kind of relaying really the findings of the various projects that we've described, and trying to sort of encourage people to sort of turn those findings into potential sort of developments to their practice.
As we make this video, we are just setting out on evaluating this project and figuring out how people are finding these resources and whether at all they're bringing benefits and uses to people. And so far, from what we can tell from our ongoing survey and our interactions with people, practitioners are finding these resources quite useful, and we've been told that they fill important gaps in provision and training even. And we are really hoping that this kind of impact then grows over the years to come.
It's been an enormous privilege for us to work with a whole variety of practitioners within both of the organisations, the Institute of Health Visiting and National Childbirth Trust, and also a range of other practitioners as well that have been involved in some of the events that we've organised. And I think we've really learned a great deal about how research really can, hopefully, make a difference, and how sort of quite specific research findings in some cases can actually feed into the development of resources and training and engagement, which can, we hope, really help support new parents. And we also hope that we'll be able to sort of take what we've learned forward into future work that we both are sort of planning to do, including on fathers and mothers in the future.